All right, shalom, shalom. First off, like to say, call the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Akakadash. Double honors to elders, apostles, great millstone, told true side teacher like Israel. This lesson is, a man got to be persuaded in his own mind, and if they're not, persuaded and they don't fear the Most High, if they ain't in the truth for the Lord, then ultimately they're going to fall out, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just let them fall out. They're just set for destruction. Okay, because in the end of the day, they're the men that betrayed the Most High, that went against the Lord. And the Lord got judgment coming from him, right? So the Lord only deals with his elect, and he knows who his elect is. Before I pull this out, let me go ahead and get this is Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation. So before the Most High, formed Jeremiah, he knew him. So that's same for his elect, right? So before the Most High, formed his elect, formed the prophets, he already knew. He knew who they was, because only the elect is going to be able to endure this hardness and continue to have faith and believe in the power of the Most High. Not all men that come in this truth is truly in it for the Lord and is strong enough to ordain. And that's only going to be the elect. You're going to have fallouts amongst you, but you can't sit here and cry for them to make it. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to worry about yourself. You got to do what you got to do. They want to slack in bullshit. Let them slack in bullshit. They're going to have to face the wrath of the Most High, no matter who that is, whether it's your sister, your cousin, your brother, your auntie, your father, your mother, it don't matter. Or anyone you knew, they want to give up. They want to falter, and let them falter, because in the end of the day, the Lord ain't dealing with them. The Lord's only dealing with those that seek him and that love him and that truly got faith in him. And you can't be in this truth and not seeking after the Most High. So if you do enough for the Lord, no type of studying, no type of trying to seek the Lord at all, but just want to bullshit all day, and do nothing, or just want to be in the world, just look at worldly things, worldly desires, then, at the end of the day, and you don't want to do nothing for the Lord and you not doing nothing for the Lord, you're not a part of the Lord's man. You're a part of the world. That's just what it is. You're just a part of the world. You've been in that grasp of Satan. All right. So, and what we got to do is got to continue to push forward. One thing, man, we're in it for the Most High, and we're in it because we believe in the Lord. So it don't matter, who's in it, who ain't, because at the end of the day, only 144,000 going to be chosen. Right. This is Romans chapter 14, verse 5. One man esteemeth one day above another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. So every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Okay, so they got to be persuaded in their own mind. So, so if he thinks, that, the Most High ain't real, this ain't real, or the Most High ain't coming back, or this all fake, then that's on him. If he thinks, if you don't believe in the Most High like he's supposed to, that's on him. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't sit up in here and, save another man. You got to do what you got to do, because you're going to fuck around and try to do that. You're going to end up destroying yourself. He's going to, that same snare that trapped him is going to trap you. So, all right. He that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord. And he that regardeth not the day, do the Lord the day to the Lord, he doeth not regard it. He that eateth to the Lord, for he giveth the Most High thanks. And he that eateth not to the Lord, he eateth not, and giveth the Most High thanks. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. So for whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord. So regardless of the situation, we're all going to go back to the Most High. Whether we live or die, we're all the Lord's. We go back to the Most High. Okay? And then at the end of the day, whether you fall out or rather continue doing the truth, it's all going to be for the truth. It's all for the truth. There's nothing you can do against the truth, but be for the truth. All right? Go ahead, get this. This is Mark 4:13. And he said unto them, know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables? The sower soweth the word, and the sower soweth the word. These are they and ultimately, if the Most High doesn't plant you, through the Spirit, if you're not, if you're not, putting in the work, say you're studying, you got the right, the right doctrine, you're studying. Ultimately, the Lord got to put that spirit inside you. You got to sow you got to sow it up. All right. So the Most High Yahushua, which is the sower, soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. So the moment a little hell comes up, to their way, when they hear, oh shit, Satan cometh, they immediately, what do? They flinch. They get scared. They start fucking dipping. They start running because, oh shit, I don't want to deal with this, man. Oh shit, I gotta go through this hell. I gotta go through that hell. I can't do this. Oh, I gotta go through highways and byways every time. Oh shit, altercation happened in the highways and byways. Oh, I can't do this. I can't have altercations with people. Oh, I can't go through I can't lose my jobs. I can't go through hell. Shit, I can't die in this truth. I can't even live I can't be on the streets and still praise the Lord. I can't do this. I can't sit here and, no, fuck that. Satan's coming. Satan's gonna punish me. See? And then they immediately what? They flinch. They run. They fought the fucking truth. Oh, this whatever situation I'm in, it's too bad for me to handle. And what do? Their true colors come out. Their true colors come out and they go against the Lord. And ultimately, if you're in this truth, and if they're against the Lord, they're against you. If you're against the Most High, you are against if you're against the elect, you're against the Most High. If you're against the Most High, you're against the elect. Automatically, you're against Yahushua, you're against Yahweh, you're against Yahweh, you're against Yahushua, because at the end of the day, the rank and file is Yahweh, of course. Yahweh, one down Yahushua, and the kingdom is going to, is going to be then King David, and then 12 then the elect. But ultimately, if you're here on earth, you got anyone that who you thought was your brother, got a lot of fallouts, who fell out. Since they're against the Most High and you're for the Lord, that means they're against you also. That means they joined the team of Satan. Because you only got two ways in this thing. You're either going to serve the Lord or you're going to serve Satan. Right? And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who when they have heard the word immediately received it with gladness. So, the ground wasn't right. It was stony. It was wiggly wobbly. It wasn't, right. But they received it with gladness. They was, oh man, this is good. We're going to get the kingdom. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, baby. Let's go. Yeah, let's get all these highways and byways. Do what we do. They have no root in themselves. But they didn't have no root in themselves. They was relying on another man, for the studying. They was relying on another man to speak. They was relying on another man for reading. They was relying on another man's classes. They wasn't doing nothing for themselves. Okay? So they got no roots. They got no faith in the Most High. Got no faith in Yahushua. They got no faith in the Lord. Okay? So they haven't rooted up themselves, right? And so endure but for a time. So they endured. They did. Satan came, a few times at them. They was able to hit them off. But, that only happened for a time, right? Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. So they get offended. So when persecution or affliction happen for the word's sake, so when the Lord sends that affliction, when the Lord sends Satan harder at them, and, there's things that, like, you gotta come to camp every week. You gotta change your little job schedule, or make sure you come on Saturdays. But they got some worldly shit that they're supposed to do. But when it's something that's supposed to happen for the Lord, they immediately get offended. Like, I gotta change up the way I'm doing it. Why I gotta do all this? Why I gotta read for? Why I gotta study? Why I gotta do all this for the word? I don't want to do it. Then they're immediately offended. They start like a woman. They start crying and shit. They start making excuses. They're off, man. And those are the people the Lord gonna put down. These are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word. And all they do, they just hear it. Okay? They just hear it. Right? They don't want to do it. Right? And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. So the deceitful riches, the cares of the world, and the lust of other things. So other things, it could be anything. Maybe you in high school you played soccer. You was big time soccer, football, basketball, wrestling. You know, but and at the end of the day, you regret giving all that up. You regret giving up for the Lord. So what does it do? It chokes the word out of you. It slowly does, because you slowly, continuously talk about it. So you basically saying you regret choosing the path that you was on. So you let the world choke. You let the world choke the truth out of you. Ultimately, the Most High sends Satan on down to get rid of you, because at the end of the day, you was probably one of the ones who killed the Lord. All right, and he sends Satan down. And then you couldn't fight, because you ain't root yourself. You ain't study. You ain't do what you had to do for the Most High. You ain't give the Lord his due time. Right? You can never do too much for the Lord. So you ain't give the Lord time. You ain't give the Most High your time. You ain't give the Lord the time that he deserves. You ain't give no time to the Lord. You gave all your time to the world. 7 days a week, but you can't do shit for the Most High? Yeah, no, you ain't you not a part of the elect. You not. You've been sown on stony grounds. You got no foundation. What's that? The Three Little Pigs? When the pigs, put their houses up with straw and with sticks, that's your houses. And that big bad wolf, which is Satan, came and blew your motherfucking house down. So you and your stony grounds wasn't strong enough. And that's how it is. That's how it is for these motherfuckers. And ultimately they become your enemy, because they are the enemy of the Lord. They're gonna slow you down. Because the Lord ain't gonna be dealing with them. And that's why you gotta separate yourself from them. You separate yourself from the wicked. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna continuously do wickedness. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. These are they which sown on good ground. So good grounds is sown there. They got planted on the foundation of the Yahushua. The big bad wolf came, but my house was full of bricks, cemented, motherfucker, super glued, all that. Got cement, everything sticky on that motherfucker. You try to blow, he kept blowing, but he got tired. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't break me. That's and you hear the word and you receive it. That's the elect. That's the elect. And now you sprout out. You sprout up like a green bay tree. You spread like one, And he said unto them, is a candle brought to be put under a bush or under a bed, and not be set on a candlestick? For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. So there's nothing, that you can hide from the Most High, and the Lord will not find out. So, and that's pretty much what I want from that. But, yeah, that's pretty much what I want. But yeah, so so if you think that you being deceitful, you ultimately a deceitful person, the Lord's gonna bring it out. If you ultimately don't want to be in the truth, and your mental is gonna come out eventually. If you ultimately don't you're just in it because everybody else around you is in it, well, it's gonna come out. So there's nothing that you can hide from the Most High. He's gonna make it manifest. And when you say it out your mouth, that's the moment you fuck up, because now you curse the Lord. And now the Lord's gonna allow Satan to come choke your ass out. It may not be in a minute. It may not be in a month. It may not be in a year. It may not be in 2 or 3. But you slowly be losing, the spirit of the Most High. You already lost it, but you will slowly go into wickedness. Slowly, your ass will drift off, and you wouldn't even know that you're drifting. You wouldn't even know that you're getting worse. But the Most High, he gonna break that shit. He gonna break you down. He's going to slowly break you down. He's going to fuck you up to the point that you're completely gone. And then you're not even going to know that you was gone. You're going to forget everything. That's how the Lord is. And that's why us as brethren, we got to do what we got to do. We got to keep ourselves right. And we can't focus on trying to save the next man. If the next man want to fall out, let the next man fall out. And you keep going and keep walking the narrow path. That's why the scripture says for the way is narrow, okay? Because it's straight and it's narrow, because it's hard. Okay, because you got to go straight. You know, no matter what, no matter if your wife looks back and the Most High burns that bitch up, right? No matter if your brothers looks back, or no matter if your mother, your father, anybody was in the truth, or your brother, anyone, it don't matter. If anyone was in the truth, and they look back like Lot's wife, look back into the world, trying to be back in the world, hating that they left, hating that they followed after the Most High instead of being worldly. They look back, you just got to keep pushing forward and keep going, because ultimately the Most High is coming back, and that shows that you're a part of the elect and they're not. So and if you go try to save them, you got to turn around and go fucking save them. And next thing you know, your chariot left, your salvation left. See? But if you would have just kept going straight, you would have made it just in time. But you got destroyed because you tried to sit here and save another man who don't even want to be fucking saved. What's that quote? Don't save someone. You can't save someone who don't want to be saved. So sometimes, man, you just got to keep going. Even like with these women, a lot of men got a hard time with putting away women. They always want to continuously try to save their woman. Oh, I want you this, I want you that. And they say, no, you bug the fuck out. You be with a bitch who cheat on you. That's against the Most High. You do all this wicked shit for this bitch. The bitch end up controlling your life, controlling your emotions, making you bug out. And they say, no, the Most High ain't dealing with you no more. And now you're going against the Lord because you're going against the laws. You're committing adultery because you fucked another man while being with you, and you're still dealing with all. So you trying to turn back and save her. You could, no, sometimes you got to walk away and let that motherfucker go. Keep going. Be a man about your shit. Keep going. That's with anything, man. Your woman, your brothers, anything. And this is the hard reality of the truth. Is that at the end of the day, only because you start in the truth with someone doesn't mean they all gonna make it. Doesn't mean they're all gonna be strong enough to make it. Only because you got grown up in the truth with someone, it doesn't mean that they're all gonna be able to endure. It doesn't mean that they're a part of the elect. Okay? So you always gotta remember that, Yeah, so no matter how bad it hurts, man, you just gotta be a man, keep going, keep moving forward for the Most High. He's not gonna suffer you to be destroyed. He's gonna give you something better. He's gonna give you something great. He's gonna give you a blessing, a blessing that you deserve. A great blessing, which is ultimately gonna be the kingdom, and maybe it's gonna be some here. You just gotta trust in the Most High, man, and keep moving. Don't let those that fall out make you rethink what you're in. Make you rethink the Lord. The moment you do that is the moment you fall. That's the moment Satan got you. Gotta remember, Simon, Satan has desire to have you. So you gotta remember that. He's as a roaring lion, walketh whom he might seek and devour. So Satan's always on the prowl. But if you can stay strong in the Lord, he won't be able to fuck with you. He won't be able to touch you. He won't be able to get in your way. He won't even be able to see you, as he couldn't see Job until the Most High put the hedge of protection on him. So stay fast, man. Stay strong. So this is here. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. So desire. Let's go ahead and get that. Bear with me real quick. Okay. No, Shalaka, bear with me real quick. Desired to have you. Okay, this is being done. Here. You know what I'm saying? You trying to, fuck up, the motion. I probably skipped it. It's all good. This is Luke 22 and 31. This is what we also really got to remember, right? This is Luke. I'm going to start a little higher. It's Luke 22 and 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. Yep. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appointed you a kingdom as my Father hath appointed unto me. And if we continue, with the Lord, with this, with the temptations, with the temptations of life, with the afflictions, verse staying strong as the Lord did, we're going to get the kingdom of heaven, right? That ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judge the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's ultimately what we're waiting for, is the kingdom of heaven, right? And the Lord said, Simon, 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 behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. See? And we read that. And the Lord says, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. So we always got to remember that. He's going to desire to have you, that he may sift you as wheat, no matter if it's about anyone falling out, no matter if it's worldly desires, no matter if it's something that you love to do in the world, but you can never do it no more because it's against the Lord. He has a lot of strategies, no matter if it's a woman, no matter if it's anything, anything, bro. Your cars, the fame, the riches, the glory of this world, anything, drugs, shit, anything that, whatever the fuck's going on in your brain, that's against the Lord. These are what Satan will use, these tactics. Hell, going through tribulation, going through hard times. These are tactics that he'll use against you, because he desires to have you, sift you as wheat, right? But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. And Yahushua ultimately, he prays for us. That way, our faith don't fail not. And we got to continuously pray to the Most High. That way your faith don't fail. Okay? So we got to remember, man, we're in a constant battle and a constant fight. Because, even if, someone fell out, man, that can be Satan ultimately trying to get you, because that man was never part of the elect anyway. Right? So you always got to remember that, man. So stay strong in the Most High. Right? I'm about to get this last scripture. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2. Verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. So no man that goes to war, that goes through spiritual war, that fights against, Satan, that fights, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. So if you're fighting against, the affairs of this life, if you fight against, the evil thoughts, the worldly shit, ultimately you're going to please the Lord. You're going to please the Most High. And that's what we're seeking to do. That's what we're here to do. And as being men of the Lord, that's what we have to do. I'm gonna go up, read a verse up. Verse 3, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. That's what we gotta do, man. So if we're seeking to please the Lord, we gotta war, against the tingles of this life. So we gotta fight against the desires of this life. Not saying that you can't have money to be stable, to stabilize yourself. Not saying that you can't have women around. But at the end of the day, don't have the worldly as lust to the point that it is fucking your walk up with the Most High. That you're not studying no more, that you're not putting the Lord first. Because once you stop putting the Lord first, once you stop studying, you stop praying. Once you stop praying, you have no cloak. You have no protection against the Satan. You become naked. That's when you stop fighting against the distractions, the wickedness of the world. And that's when you ultimately fail. That's when you fail. That's when you fell off. So, stay right. Keep your mind together. Keep your shit tight. Because as being men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord, we're going to endure hardness as a good soldier. So only the elect will endure hardness as a good soldier. Only the elect knows what it means, man. You know? So you can't, all right? So, always remember that. So stay strong in this truth, man. Because at the end of the day, the Most High is almost here. Every day that you wake up is a day closer to the coming of the Lord. That's one of the beautiful things, Monatazak says, But, and that's very much true. Because every day that you wake up is a day closer. So always remember that, man. And rather, there's 3 things that's certain. Yeah, taxes in his life. But, death and that the Most High is coming. Okay? The Most High is coming. That's guaranteed. Okay? Rather you die in the truth, man. You die in the truth. That's how you just got to be. That's just how you got to be. That's just how you got to be. That's the type of faith you got to have. So you got to have faith in this thing to fight against Satan. You got to have faith in this thing to fight against the temptation of his life. You got to have faith in this thing to fight against the distractions of his life. So, yeah, man. So don't be trying to sit up there and try to save another man. Do what you got to do for you, for the Lord. Yeah, I'm not saying don't pray for your brother. Pray for your brother. That he straightens up, that he gets right. But ultimately, don't make that a thing where it's like, oh, I gotta do more. I gotta do more for it. And like, no, fuck no. Do what you do. You let him know. You tell him. But at the end of the day, you're going off. You're going against the Most High. But ultimately, if that's just something you want to do, that's something you want to go against the Lord, that's on you. The Lord's going to destroy your ass. I'm praying that you get your shit together. But if you don't, you don't. It's what it is. The Lord ain't dealing with you. So that, and the story. And that should be it from there. And if he falls out, you just can't deal with him no more. So, all right. And I hope that was edifying, And with that, like I said, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahshua, Ba'ashim, Kwakadash, Damas, Elders, Apostles of Great Millstone, Tarshu, Citation of Israel. I'm the brother Taz Shalom.